Hey guys, this is Andrew with MyWatchAddiction.com. Today we have something a little bit exciting to do. Instead of taking a look at a watch that I've received in, we're actually going to take a road trip down to the Aragon Watch Company in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Over the holiday break, I had the amazing opportunity to sit down with the lead designer and CEO of Aragon Watches. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Aragon watches. Both from the fit and finish, the design stylings, all the way down to the price point. It blows my mind how Wing can spin out some of these amazing watches. Stick around and listen to what he has to say about his designs in the future for Aragon watches. So I figured, we could just, if you have anything new to take a look at.
I have so many new.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah, so this is the new collection. As you can see, the bracelet is the charger bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like a chain link.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
And because of the success with the Evo, so I decided to combine the design and elevate the charger even more thicker and more aggressive.
Right.
You can see it has the bezel, the concave, reverse concave bezel, but the gripping is different. The Evo has the gear head, but instead I make it a little bit different, and the case is thicker, and then continue with the 4 o'clock round. So this is the result of I just named it recently called a C charger.
Nice.
So this is pretty amazing. So same thing, continue to move forward is we're gonna still dominate in the mechanical watch. Mm-hmm. As you can see, most of the watch companies, exclude the Swiss high-end. Mm-hmm. But if you look at majority of the watch companies in the world are quartz driven, battery driven. We are more, I would say 90-95% mechanical automatic driven, mechanical watches driven, and we'll continue to explore that direction. And I will continue to explore more into 2 sizes or 3 sizes. So that's the future.
Do you see the future of watches just getting bigger? Or is there like a sweet spot when it comes to case size, or that from what you've seen?
Yeah, 48 to 50 millimeter is still, I have to emphasize this, because every time when I make post a picture on the social media and I say, 50 millimeter, there's always someone jump out. It's like, make it this, make it. I've never done an actual statistic, but 10 to 1, I would say, or 20 to 1. People prefer to buy oversized watches over 45 and smaller. Right. And another thing is very interesting as well. We were just talking about it a few days. We are shipping so many watches overseas: Australia, Europe, Italy, Singapore, Taiwan, France. I see it on our orders with the internet. Even the guys overseas are buying our 50 millimeter oversized watches. I see oh wow. I was expecting to be 45 or smaller. Right. Now they're buying our oversized timepieces. It's quite interesting.
What kind of countries are you sending to now?
Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore, India, Australia, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Italy, France, Germany, Australia, Russia, Finland, all over.
Wow.
Yeah, we're shipping direct to a lot of overseas countries.
Is the logistics, just trying to manage the logistics behind that between customs and everything, pretty crazy to deal with?
Well, we ship by, we have to ask Alan this question. No, it is not, because nowadays UPS and FedEx dominate.
Right.
They clear the custom for you, and but the buyer has to pay for the domestic, the import duties.
I love that bracelet design. It reminds me of a motorcycle chain.
It is a motorcycle chain, and very how would I say? And I didn't cut short with the manufacturing. As you can see, each one of the line is actually one link.
Right.
So there are 14 links across, and it's being assembled by a screw-in bar, stainless steel screw-in bar. So let's say if I remove this, the screw on this side, one-sided, there are actually 14 individual small links put together. It's a challenge. As you can see, labor cost is very expensive, and manufacturing cost is also very expensive.
What kind of engineering time do you normally have to put into a new design? I mean, I've got to imagine
very long. I don't have an exact, but I would estimate that sometimes. I used to say 30 days, but it's actually not. I would say about like 6 to 9 months minimum.
Wow.
Minimum. Some of the watches even take longer. This is the new hydromatic. So you can see this is even more crazy.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I think this one is 50 millimeter or 48. I have to look back.
That is very cool.
Yeah.
It's 50 actually. And
I can
it's a
see
piston. Yeah.
adding that to your collection.
Yeah, this will be on the way shortly.
And I made it even smaller. Production. It's 88 pieces per color.
Oh wow.
Per color execution. So I only made I think 5.
Yeah.
So I think it's 440 pieces total.
Wow.
Yeah. 5 colors.
I mean, the indices on that is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Are those? I just look at the manufacturing of it, how it would actually get done, and how many pieces actually go into some of these watches.
Well,
that are separately, I would assume, separately machined.
Well, this is a new technique. I don't know if anyone has ever done it before. It's 2 pieces. So the first piece is where all the R index and a dial, and then the second piece, you see all the circle.
Yep.
It's another piece of metal fused together.
Oh wow.
And then each one of the R index, I don't know if you can see, there's superluminova on top of it, and it's also using a labeling technique with a frame on top of it. So you can see one dial on top of another dial, and then there's a frame which is the outline of the R index, and then apply superluminova.
Oh wow.
I know, and things like that, we get it out for a few $100s, which is
that's the crazy part about it too, is that so much engineering time and so much going to the actual manufacturing process, and then to be able to sell them at the price point that you're selling them at is absolutely amazing.
Well, I always give this example. I don't know, it makes sense. You go to a supermarket, you buy a piece of steak, a very nice piece of steak. It probably costs you somewhere between $8 to $12. But when you go into some of the high-end restaurants, they charge you what, $50, $60
for the same.
You can see the markup there
Right.
is like 5-6 times. The way we do it, like I was previously having this conversation with you, is a new era from design manufacturing, which is us, and go directly to the consumer. And this is how we do it. And we also sacrifice our profit margin as well.
Right.
So we can deliver a super high quality. I mean, I always believe in if we can provide nice design, high quality, good customer service, incredible price point.
Actually, if we
People
could
will
stop
come
right
back
there
again
for a
and
second
again.
and talk about customer service for a second. So the very first watch I ever purchased from Aragon was the Millipede 8040N.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember, but I literally bought that the week of Hurricane Irma.
Okay.
So Hurricane Irma, as I talked about in that video, I mean, this place all around this area, you guys were dealing with natural disaster.
Yeah.
There was mass evacuations, and I was watching that, and I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to get this watch. No way whatsoever I'm going to get this watch anytime soon.
Right.
And it literally, I was watching the tracking on it, and the watch literally shipped like a day or two before the hurricane.
Right.
And that's really what
personally for me, from a customer service standpoint, for you guys to actually be so devoted to the customers and be able to do that when you guys are dealing with a natural disaster like that.
Well, if UPS and FedEx are open, we're open.
Right.
That's the way we. No, but over the holidays we do, like Thanksgiving or Christmas, we give an extra day off, so everybody can enjoy it one extra day. I think it's so nice.
Yeah, that's great. And then it blows my mind because you look at. I don't know. I've talked about this numerous times in my video where you'll see some of these companies that make decent watches, but the price point is just so huge. And then when you actually get the watch and you look at the watch and you feel the material. I mean, the metal quality that you guys use, the high polish on, like for instance, some of these new case designs, the millipede that I have is a high gloss polish on it. Just to get that level of gloss on it is absolutely amazing to me, especially, I've got to imagine the manufacturing process behind that is pretty incredible to get that kind of high gloss.
Yes, it is. So how it's being done is first of all you buy the stainless steel sheets, right? So you do the stamping and then you do the cutting. When you have all the calculations done correctly, use the caliber, and then the next process is the polishing. So there are polishing is, for many people they don't understand, is when it's raw stainless steel. So you shave, you go against a sanding machine, you shave layer and layer of stainless steel until you get it right. And then the last process, for example, the mirror polishes, and then you use the wax to polish it with the wheels, and then it's finally being done. But a lot of people don't understand is in order to get the shine and the hairline, what we call, and then see even it's matte finish, you see that gloss,
right?
It's because it's not just one-time polishing. It's you have to polish with the sand wheel, one layer, 2 layers, multiple layers to get that process.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people have never seen, the time, the amount of time it takes to polish the case and what needs to get it done right. That's part of the reason we are previously what we were talking about, the quality, the level of quality that we are. We don't talk about it often, but we understand how to produce the watches. That's the difference between some of the watch companies, they get it out, and you notice something slightly different with the sheen of the metal.
Right.
And this is how we do it, what we do. Yeah.
It's really gorgeous. So when are some of these new ones going to be hitting the market?
This one is going to hit February 1st, and this one possibly sometimes in March or April.
I definitely look forward to that.
Yeah. Last time we had the Hydromatic, that one, the IP brand, for the people who waited, it was just gone.
Yeah.
Like in like the shortest amount of time.
Yeah, the dial on that is absolutely amazing. And one of the interesting things I see is I see a lot of older watches of yours still out there in the market, still being
collecting.
Still being bought and traded, amongst the various groups, and that's a testament too, I think, for the design and the thought you've put into it as it relates to. You might have sold a watch 10 years ago or 8 years ago or whatever it may be, and these guys are still loving, still loving the designs, especially some of the higher end ones with the skeletons, and it amazes me.
I think I'm first of all, I'm very flattered, and I think many of the collectors are treating them as a piece of art. This is how many of the collectibles people are still trading today. It was designed like not just my watches, like 50 years ago, a few hundred years ago, and this is the reason, another reason why I want to continue to design watches the way not like copying other brands.
Right.
Trying to be as original as possible, and the quality is also very important. You buy this watch today, 30 years, 50 years, the watch is still working, or 100 years is still working. I mean, this is the ultimate goal.
Great.
As a designer, as an artist, it's like an ultimate goal that people collect them, own it, give it to the next.
Right.
Like
pass it on,
pass it on.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gorgeous. I love the colors that you use too, because that's one of the things is the different coloring, the oranges, the blues, the greens, the yellows. You don't see a lot of those color patterns or color palettes, in other watch companies, and I think that definitely makes them stand out. I'm constantly there's another YouTuber that he and I have become pretty good friends over time. And, we're constantly going back and forth with watches that we get from you and commenting on each other's videos. And he has a really gorgeous green dial one that he picked up recently. And, the colors of these watches, just pop. They're
absolutely
very vibrant.
Yeah, try to be different. As you can see now, I'm using a lot of this blue. It's called the reflective blue. Because the saturation, the deep, color, I think is beautiful. And then this is a new color. This new gray is like the exotic cars, sports car gray that I choose from.
Yeah.
I noticed a lot of the Porsche. They have this color, the new one, and I was like, wow, I was just in love with it. So I have to put it in one of the watches. Yeah, if it does well, we're gonna do more of this gray.
I saw one that you guys have, the teal one, is it?
Yes.
You guys have it in that box?
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed that you don't have it for women.
Right now. Which teal?
So she's actually looking at one of the marbled.
You talking about this one?
She's this one right
The
here.
abalone.
Yeah,
We have it, but we have it in the small, not the same watch, but we have it with the star halo.
Oh,
Have you ever seen it? The star halo with the abalone.
no, I haven't.
Yeah, we have them. We have them. Maybe
We're gonna have
it
to-
might-
we're
it
gonna
might
have to find
be-
one for her.
I think it's very limited. As a matter of fact, I only produce the white topaz with that. Oh no, mother of pearl. The white topaz. I made a very small production of the genuine white topaz with the mother of pearl, like 50 pieces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the halos. I actually, like I said before, I'm not particularly a watch person.
Watches.
But I might have to buy some.
Is there anything in your life that you draw your design inspirations from? I mean, is there anything that you just enjoy, or you just kind of just sit down with a piece of paper and start brainstorming and go from there?
I'm sorry. I was just trying to rip that piece of plastic off. No, I start from the computer. I start from the computer, but before the computer, I visual and have like the visual, the shape, the height, the width of the watch already here. And then I start using the computer program to draw it out. So that's how I began. I know a lot of people, they start sketching. I don't do that. I already have a mental
Image
picture, image of the watch. And then I just translate, from that. I can see a watch in my mind. And then I just start, do it on monitor.
It's funny because I actually talked to several artists and they do it the same way.
They
They
already
already have the vision in their head, and it's just a matter of streaming it out into the product that they're working on.
Right, and not to be off subject, so a few years ago I started building houses.
Oh, wow.
Of course I'm not an architect, so I hire an architect. But I also have that ability, like looking at the floor plan, it's like I can visualize myself
Walking through it.
the front door, and I can visualize the house 3D in my mind. Because I do all the interior designs.
Right.
So, so I have that mental picture in my mind. I can see the house. I can walk what the hell? It's amazing. What do you call it? Like the virtual reality.
Yeah.
I have that virtual reality ability to walk into, to look at something, a floor plan. I'm sure when you came in, I had the floor plan. So I have that ability to walk the house and
see it before.
Matter of fact, I can even visualize. Let's say I open the door, I can see. There's some like how the balconies and the entire house is pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
One of the things that I love about these watches also is that you look at the overall presentation. So it's not just about the watch, right? It's about the whole buying experience.
Yes.
So you look at, and again, I go back to the price point because the overall buying experience at the price point is what really, really amazes me. But you get the watch packed perfectly in a box. You open up the box and you've got this gorgeous blue leather and blue, almost crushed velvet interior. It's a high-end watch box, for the price point. And then you get the packaging on the watch. You get, all the watch completely wrapped up, completely protected. You don't see that in even some of the higher end, we'll call it more expensive, not necessarily higher end, but more expensive watches. It's that complete attention to detail, I think, is what really personally I'm a fan of.
No, I agree.
It just, I keep going back to it. It adds that whole experience, that whole buying experience.
Right.
It's getting the whole process of like getting the box out and seeing the box, and then getting the watch, because it makes the watch even.
Yeah, that's a great point, is that a lot of times I'll see a watch that's a gorgeous, gorgeous watch, and it'll come in a cardboard box. And, right out of the gate, you get that impression of a lower value because of its presentation.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. No, it's certainly nice to know. I have never purchased my watches, so I don't know what it would be like. Yeah, maybe I should order a watch. There you go. And ship it to my house. Yeah.
That's actually,
like the undercover
like
boss.
A mystery shopper.
The undercover boss. Yeah, I just love this one. I was thinking to get one myself, like this one. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad idea, because then you get the whole customer experience with what Andrew gets to experience on the other side, which a lot of companies don't put mind into that.
Yes.
And I think is valuable that you guys think from A to Z, everything that it's going to go through, the customer is going to go through. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there a specific model or a specific watch that you're personally most proud of?
Virtuoso, the tungsten, the titanium. If I know you recently started collecting Aragon. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. I did the previous Virtuoso in tungsten, and it was also done with tritium tubes. It's going back to your previous conversation. That's one of the watch people are still collecting. And many people now learn about that watch. They're buying off another person's collection. That is one of the watch I'm very proud of. It's just very rare in the watch industry. People, do all the things that I do, like the size, the tritium tubes, the amount of tubes, 68 tubes, the movement that we use, and that. But for the Aragon brand today, I'm very proud of the new Virtuoso. We did it in titanium. We're going to come out with the flat tube version with the 2024. I'm very proud with the Hydromatic, this generation, which is amazing. The reason why I say that is we're one of the first in the world to have the NH70. And then the new Enforcer I'm very proud of, because as a designer, as an artist, however you call it, from first generation, second generation, or third generation, whatever that is, it's very difficult to design the new generations and bring all the DNA and make the watch as soon as the customers or the new buyer, they look at the watch and they hold it in their hand. They said, it reminds me of something. It reminds me of the Enforcer. It reminds me of the Virtuoso. But being able to continue to evolve, to improve, to make it even better. So that's the reason why I said, the Virtuoso, the Enforcer. The dive masters continue, continuously, improving the hydromatic as well. So I'm trying to keep Aragon small, so I can have a very clear, individual collection, and continue to grow each collection to improve better designs, the next generation, all of those things. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's why Aragon was never planned to be very honest. The 3-4 years ago when we started with Aragon, I didn't plan to be this big.
Wow.
It was, we're doubling in size from 2016 to 2017.
Wow.
Many people call us micro brand, and I greatly appreciate the name, but it's just it's getting people liking the brand more and more each day after they, like you were saying, now you have 8 in a shortest period amount of time, and you were talking about the value of the product, the quality of the product is uncomparable to other brands, and that's the directions that I want to focus and continue to move forward, and all the watch collectors or the new customers enjoy the same thing.
Right.
That's my focus.
Great. Well, I won't keep a whole lot more of your time. I definitely appreciate you sitting down with us.
Absolutely.
And, taking a look at these. I'm sure you're pretty busy with the holiday, as well as everybody else, so we can definitely let you go. But again, I appreciate you letting us come and see your facility. Absolutely gorgeous watches. And I look forward to getting some of these guys on my wrist in the future.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks, Gary.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for today. Before I go, I just want to say a huge thank you to Wing and all of his team at the Aragon Watch Company. I can tell you personally, every single experience I've had with the Aragon Watch Company, with their products, with their customer service, thank you, Christina, has been top-notch, absolutely number one. Definitely check out their website, check out some of their designs. If you're not familiar with Aragon watches, I can promise you the craftsmanship, the quality is second to none. Go ahead, sign up for their newsletter. They run sales nonstop, and that's the number one sure way to make sure that you don't miss out on some of their amazing deals. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, don't forget to hit subscribe down in the right-hand corner of the screen. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's instagram/watchaddiction.us. And as always, if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at mywatchaddiction.com. Thank you guys, and have a great day.